Hello, Milwaukee, and welcome to Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and we're here to explore the best of our city, its vibrant culture, thriving tourism scene, and the people making it all happen. And you can't make Joshing Around Milwaukee happen with just one Josh Albrecht. No, you need
a second Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht. And Josh Albrecht. We have a very special guest today, Clayborn Benson III, the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Black Historical Society, joining us. We're going to be having a great conversation with him. But before we get there, Josh, did you notice the shirt I'm wearing today?
It was hard not to notice the beautiful checkered flannel.
Yes.
Staring at me across the room here.
Well, I thought we should do that because of Flannelpalooza.
Well, of course, Flannelpalooza, that's a perfect way to celebrate. Guess, wait for it, National Flannel Day.
Boom.
I mean,
of course.
Who knew?
Of course.
Right? So it's a full afternoon of winter activities, food, beverages, vendors, all taking place in Wauwatosa Village, the quaintest little quaint of a downtown, right? I mean, we love downtown, the village in Wauwatosa. Like, you get down there, you're like, I'm sorry, Hallmark? Did you call?
Yeah, straight out of a movie. Yeah.
So you can go down, have a ton of fun in the village of Wauwatosa, axe throwing, as you would expect at a flannel festival. Ice sculpture demonstrations, but with this warm weather, who knows? But it'll cool off perfectly for ice sculptures.
They'll nail it.
Best groomed beard contest. I don't think that's me.
It's definitely not me. No.
I think they're definitely looking for a big Santa Claus beard.
Yeah.
And I do not have a Santa Claus beard. And best dressed dog contest, which when I first read that, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that was referring to hot dogs, like a dressed hot dog. And I was like, no, Josh, that's completely silly.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
Although it would have been really funny if you showed up to it and you were like, this is my hot dog.
This is my
got
hot dog.
Relish, some mustard.
And I do have a nice bow tie for it.
Yes.
Best dressed dog. So you can bring your dog in its finest gear. So groom that beard, bring that dog, throw some axes, have an amazing time. February 8th, Flannelpalooza in the Wauwatosa Village. Excited for that.
Oh, it's going to be great. Just like this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee is because, as I mentioned, we have on Clayborn Benson III, who is the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Black Historical Society. Clayborn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and you won't find another Clayborn Benson III.
No, it's just you.
We might change our name.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah. Trust me, I didn't think that I'd be doing a show with another Josh Albrecht. There could be one. Just wait.
Ask your mother. She will tell you. So
that's right.
Anyway, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I represent Wisconsin Black Historic Society in the midst of February as we enter into Wisconsin's African American History Week, and the state of Wisconsin has a terrific African American history. Starting back to the very beginning of the state's history, African Americans have been part of this history, and we are honored to share that with our visitors. And such.
So many amazing stories to tell and things to celebrate throughout the month and all year long. And we really appreciate what you have done to make the Wisconsin Black Historical Society a great museum, showcase, place that people, visitors, residents alike can come and learn about our great history and culture in the community.
Yeah, we have people who have taken the initiative to even go back to Africa in the 1860s to explore Africa and bring that culture back to Milwaukee and set up a museum. 1860, nonetheless, printed in the New York Times.
Wow.
But over the course of the years, there have been many accomplishments made by African Americans in which we're set out to share those accomplishments. Probably the most pressing issue before us now is the effort on the part of a group of African Americans in the 1970s who tried to put together the Central City Plaza, the Halyard Park area, to put a business district together that just could not make it, and that area is being exposed now with people trying. With the growing of populations in that area, people want to change his historical preservation to general use, and we're trying to address those issues now in public history. Talking about how can we preserve these landmark buildings built by Mr. Robinson, Alfonso Robinson, who builds them in an African Senate and Dinka symbols all over the building, talking about his African roots. He is the first African-American architect in the state of Wisconsin. And so that's a challenging issue that we're facing at the moment. But as I mentioned that, there are literally hundreds of stories that needs to be shared. I mean, the whole issue of Joshua Glover being broken out of jail and the citizens of Wisconsin breaking him out of jail and sending him on to Canada, not because they know that they're violating the United States Constitution, and they do it with open. And they even changed the rules to say 5,000 people broke him out of jail when only true 500 people broke him out. Their enthusiasm about them violating the Constitution.
Yes.
Forget about rules and facts, but they love the fact that they're fighting against the system, and thus. So Glover is very important. The desegregation of school systems, when the whole issue of educating African Americans who migrated to the state of Wisconsin for the purpose of getting a good education, they knew they would get a good education in Wisconsin. Segregation still does exist in the state of Wisconsin, and Lloyd Bobby in his fight to end desegregation of school systems. And Milwaukee is not the only city that does it. Many other cities try to do it, but Lloyd Bobby rises to the surface to get the Supreme Court to accept the ruling of educating black students based on Brown versus the Board of Education, though one law, and yet segregation still does exist. So Milwaukee's on the cutting edge of many landmark decisions nationally that makes it unique and different. And so and when I said Milwaukee, I mean the state of Wisconsin is significant in terms of dealing with the issues of African Americans and their rights.
I mean, yeah, and you pointed out so many amazing stories that need to be told. I think one of my favorite stories is going to be the story of Clayborn Benson III.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is incredible, and I can't wait to ask you some questions about the amazing things that you've done, and we're going to do that when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Welcome back to Joshing Around Milwaukee. I am Josh Albrecht. That is also Josh Albrecht. We have our special guest, Clayborn Benson III, with us today. And it is February, and February, you're thinking about Valentine's Day, and love is in the air right now, folks, at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This February, fall head over heels in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday nights, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to score thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready for Love It or Leave It. Only at Potawatomi. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years or older to play.
Josh, it was so exciting today to have Clayborn Benson with us talking about sort of Milwaukee history and preserving Milwaukee history and the stories that have been shared for generations. But really, Clayborn, we want to talk a little bit about you too, put you on the spot a little bit, because your career and your background is inspiring and one I think needs to be shared as well. Just to give our listeners a little sense of who you are, you spent a very impressive 39 years at WTMJ as a photojournalist. You're capturing moments that helped tell the stories of our community during that time. Your passion for learning didn't stop there, though. You were mentioning to us, that at the age of 73, you earned your master's degree during COVID. Went back to school at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I think that's just a great way to show people that it's never too late to pursue new ideas and new careers and new
what a great use of a bad situation too. Like when you told us that during COVID you took that opportunity to get your master's degree, and I was sitting here thinking, oh boy, what did I do during COVID? I sure wasn't earning a master's degree, I'll tell you that.
We sat in class with masks on our faces.
Right. Yeah.
But we enjoyed it.
You got it. Yeah. You got it done though. That was very impressive. But I want to talk about the 39 years as a photojournalist. I mean, that's such an incredible run, and in a position to where it's not the same thing every day. You're inspiring people, and experiencing every day is different with what you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit about your time at
for
TMJ?
12 of those years, I did sports. I remember with Bart Starr saying, "I can't understand why we lost this game." Yeah, but during those heyday days of the Green Bay Packers and the Bucks, I covered Badgers. I travel all over the United States covering stories. I also went to Ghana, West Africa. I went to Somalia doing the Black Hawk. I was there during that time, Black Hawk Down. I just experienced a lot of interesting things and met people all over the world.
I mean, that's one of the beautiful things. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but like that photojournalism, you know, I have a journalism background as well, and getting to be on the front lines, so to speak, of pivotal moments in history, whether it was sports, politics, war, whatever it might be. It's such a unique opportunity to see it literally through a lens that no one else gets to see, and you then help to share that story. Is there? I mean, you've just mentioned a few, but is there a few Milwaukee-based things that you got to experience and cover that really you're like, that's one that I can't, I always have to remember?
The thought that comes to my mind right now is camping out on the White House grounds doing the summit between Russia and the United States when John McCullough and I are reporting on the negotiation about nuclear. That was a very important. And then we rented a U-Haul truck. I shouldn't be saying this on the air, but I hit, as I was driving the mobile truck back to the station, I hit every car on the side of the road.
I think statute of limitations.
That's right.
That has to be 45 years, if not longer ago. But nonetheless, those were my youth days.
That's right.
I mean, I spent time with the migrant workers and having the governor come in and change the laws in Wisconsin as it relates to housing conditions for migrant folks coming up from Mexico and picking berries and things of that nature. I really enjoyed my life I could not experience any. I mean, I love being a news cameraman, but I love being a journalist now. It seems like all of those years as a news cameraman prepared me to be a good historian as we sit down. And I love what I do every day. Would not step back into that world again. I love the path that I'm in now because they're challenging, understanding how history is evolving and changing, and yet still it deserves its recognition as people who are making a comment, and bringing people alive again, people who have made contributions, recalling their accomplishments and
getting to share that with the guests that come to the historical museum, right? Like
I do.
That's a pleasure, like to share those stories. It's an honor to share other people's stories to the youth, to anyone who's coming through the doors, right?
That is, and people there are people who wanted no recognition whatsoever. And I said, no, stand up. They're even dead, like Miss Bernice Lindsay, who you'd never heard of, but the whole neighborhood is named after Lindsay Heights neighborhood. She developed housing neighborhood for returning home World War II veterans. When the city is reluctant to build public housing, she built an apartment complex so that people would have places to move in. Oh, she did. She's the founder, first to graduate from Ohio State Journalism School, and the founder of the State of Wisconsin Delta organization. I haven't even begun to touch on her. Takes a delegation of folks to the Congo, then goes to London, England to talk about the Pan-African issues. And then when she gets back to Milwaukee, President Kennedy invites her to the White House to talk about women, national issues. This woman is a powerhouse all by herself. Little short lady. With broken English.
That's right.
Powerful.
These are the amazing stories that people can hear and learn about at the Wisconsin Black Historical Society, and that's why I think it's so important for organizations like yours to exist in a community.
Thank you.
Because I mean, I could listen to you talk about these stories literally all day. So to get to the Historical Society and see it and see the research, see the preservation, it's magical.
We have an archive section that we've been working on for the last 4 years. We have a professional archivist that is assigned, and we get boxes of materials, Bibles, books, clothing of all sorts from regular people and historical people who have dropped things off, and we have collected just a large number of archival material at the Historical Society and constantly doing it. Obituaries. We're at nearly 12,000 obituaries that we've been collecting over the course of the years. It's online for people to be able to access information about their loved ones. we have done the job, and we love what we do at Wisconsin Black Historical.
Is there an artifact, a relic, a
Yes.
book, something that
Yes.
really stands out in your mind that's like, you get there, you can't miss this. Make sure you
5
see it.
years ago, a lady came to the museum. She didn't come to the museum. She called me on the telephone, and she says, I have something I know you want, but I don't want to reveal who I am. She met me in the parking lot of Walmart, and she had a mask on her face. And she says, and this is a chain from 1860 that her grandfather passed down from generation to generation. This lady could tell me about where they were from, what their clothing looked like, where they were hungry. They were hid in the basement near Burlington, Wisconsin. They were hid under a big hole with wood plaqued on it, and they were hid there as part of the Underground Railroad. Did she want me to know who she was? No.
Sure.
She hid and it was anonymous as you can be, but this chain is not anonymous. This chain reflects the struggles of our people as they made their way through the Underground Railroad to Canada.
That's so powerful.
Is that not just like the most crazy thing? Was not planning on hearing this deep of a story today, but yeah, I mean, just incredible, and looking forward to more with Clayborn Benson III, the executive director of the Wisconsin Black Historical Society, right after this on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're having a lot of fun here with our guest today, Clayborn Benson III, the executive director at the Wisconsin Black Historical Society. Thanks so much for joining us today,
Thank you.
Clayborn. This has been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I have to ask, like, you've been sharing some amazing stories about yourself, and you've been sharing some amazing stories about those that the stories you help preserve at the Historical Society.
Mm-hmm.
You've had an extraordinary career, an amazing time as a photojournalist at WTMJ, running the Wisconsin Black Historical Society now. Looking back, though, what would you say has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
Well, one of the things I learned while at UWM, because that really, being at UWM really opened my mind up. I thought I knew everything, but I learned out I didn't know everything. And they really challenged me. They really helped me understand how little. And little things like, I'm 70-something years old right now. And so I lived through the time of Mrs. Audie Halyard, and I lived through the years, and I got a chance to meet them, but I knew that they had accomplished things, but I didn't understand some real important issues. I remember one year she said to me, she says, Mr. Johnson took all of his money out of my savings and loan. I said, well, it's his money. He should be able to take it out if he wants to do so. But what I didn't understand, which was really enriching, they maintained this relationship with Booker T. Washington. They became Booker T. Washington. And they through clubs, through radio programs, through newspapers, through housing projects, through migration patterns, they maintained the philosophies and the procedures of the Tuskegee University and the Booker T. Washington. And what she was complaining about is that we had through C.L. Johnson and the hundreds of other people that we're operating these programs, we had a plan in place to address the issues of African Americans in the state of Wisconsin through all of these various mechanisms. It really opened my mind. I thought Milwaukee was isolated by itself, but it's interconnected with the entire United States.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Booker T comes to Milwaukee at the turn of the century, and he's talking to people at MATC and discussing how MATC could address some of the issues of urban education. And as they plan their MATC's earlier development, Booker T comes, but he also meets with the African Americans in the community. And yes, he passed away, but his dreams maintain and continue. There are many other examples like that I learned. I got a sense of understanding.
Yeah.
My professor said, Milwaukee is not isolated. Milwaukee fits into the bigger picture, but I couldn't see how it fit into the bigger picture.
Well, you're definitely helping us see that now, right?
Yeah.
And those listening, I think, can really get that sense
Yeah.
that sense that how interconnected Milwaukee is
Yes,
with
the
the
rest of the
entire
country.
world and the country, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's obviously amazing, and really at the heart of what you do at the Wisconsin Black Historical Society and why people should go there, visit, and see it. And can you tell us a little bit about how can someone get there and sort of what are the hours? How can someone experience the Historical
So
Society?
we're open from 10 to 4 o'clock daily. We encourage people to come before 4 o'clock, of course. But people can make arrangements and bring their groups. Come and learn about specific subjects that they may be interested. We focus primarily on the state's African American history. And our address is 2620 West Center. Our telephone number is 414-372-7677. My email address is Benson, like Benson and Hedges, BENSON, Clayborn, CLAYBORN. At gmail.com. And we are on the corner of 27th and Center.
Love it.
Have been there for 36 years.
Well, thank you so
36
much,
years.
Clayborn, for joining us today. This has been awesome. Can't wait to hear more stories. I mean, I'm so into it now. This has been so incredible. And we want to thank everyone who listened to those stories with us today on Joshing Around Milwaukee. For more information, make sure to go to visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see you next time. All right, welcome back to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We are not done yet. Thanks for sticking around. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to one of the podcast versions, we appreciate you sticking around for one more quick segment here with our guest, Clayborn Benson III from the Wisconsin Black Historical Society. Thank you so much for joining us, Clayborn.
Thank you.
Clayborn, excited. One last question for
Yes.
you. Milwaukee's got a lot of really fun things going right now. We say it has fresh city vibes.
Right.
So what is the thing that's giving you fresh city vibes? What's the thing you're excited about? What are you experiencing right now?
Two things. One would be the Central City Plaza. Alfonso Robinson created that out of the dreams and aspirations of hundreds of, even thousands of African Americans wanting to restructure their community, Walnut Street or Bronzeville, and the Howard Park area, financed by Mrs. Audie Halyard, to create a residential area, ranch-style homes. Those areas are areas that people had dreams and aspirations of recumulating their new homes and such. And so both of those areas are in threatening at the moment. So those are areas that folks ought to take a ride around and take a look at those homes, especially the Central City Plaza. It's specially designed by that of Mr. Alfonso Robinson. The three buildings, the Salvation Army building, the old cab place, and the marketplace that exists on the corner of 6th and Walnut Street. And then finally, the Holocaust Museum. That's our sister museum.
Beautiful building.
We love
Yes.
them. We love them there, and they have been supportive of us as well. And we want to support them. Do a shout out. Please go and visit them as well. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. We've had the honor of talking with them as well on Joshing Around Milwaukee in the past, and that's a good segue into, if you are unfamiliar, we've been doing Joshing Around Milwaukee. This is our third season, and so there's always past episodes that you can go and get more info on. And for that, you're going to go to visitmilwaukee.org. And we appreciate everyone sticking with us, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you next time.